Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with some orchestral music on Chandos by Nimrod Borenstein. He is an Israeli-English composer. We talked about his piano concerto recently, and I really enjoyed it. It was really a lovely work. And this disc contains his Violin Concerto, and then a work modestly entitled The Big Bang and Creation of the Universe, and then finally something called If You Will It, It Is No Dream. That's actually a motto that has to do with the creation of the State of Israel. And I am really of two minds about some of these other pieces. But first, let's talk about the Violin Concerto. Now, when you first encounter a composer with whom you're unfamiliar, and I was totally unfamiliar with Borenstein, you have to begin to try and get a sense of whether or not they have a personal style or something that's recognizable that you can hang your hat on. Borenstein has a personal voice, quite a distinctive voice, and a lovely voice, actually. I mean, his music reflects his Middle Eastern origins. You hear a kind of exoticism to it, especially in his writing for strings, which feature most prominently in his work. You know, there's that sort of, I don't know what you would call it, but it's an Asian inflection, Middle Eastern inflection from the sort of Syrian Arabic kind of culture from which he comes, at least in the area from which he comes. So that, I think, makes the music instantly identifiable. He also scores very interestingly. A lot of the stuff that he writes is for string orchestra or strings, plus a few other things, but it's based in stringed instruments, and his writing for timpani is quite distinctive, soloistic, with sort of an emphasis on the sort of primal drumming aspects of the timpani. It's not the let's support the brass and winds and sort of things. It's a soloistic kind of writing that's quite distinctive. And he doesn't use a lot of percussion otherwise, at least not in these works, at least not so far, not in the other things I've heard of his, of which I've, tried to get representative samples so I could get my bearings with this and listen to it a few times. So yeah, there's a voice there. So once we've established the fact that he has a characteristic sound and style all his own, which is a lot. I mean, that gets you quite a distance, especially in the world of contemporary music today. So that's why his music's quite tonal, by the way. I mean, it's not avant anything, but it's tonal in a also sort of a modal kind of way quite often. Anyway, so there you have it. Now, the Violin Concerto is quite lovely. It's 27 minutes. It's in 4 movements. It's well written for the instrument. It has all of those characteristics which suit stringed instruments very, very nicely. And one of you actually posted a comment where you said that you felt that the Violin Concerto was even better than the Piano Concerto. And I'm willing to go that far. I think it really is very, very effective. It'd be lovely to hear it in concert. It's extremely well played here by Irmina Trynkos, with the Oxford Philharmonic Orchestra under Vladimir Ashkenazy, no less. So that was fun. It was really nice making the piece's acquaintance. Now, once we know that he has a style and that he can do, lovely things within that style, the question becomes, what is his range? How far can he take it? How many different kinds of moods can he express with that style? Here, I start to have some reservations because, well, let's put it this way. The Big Bang and creation of the universe is kind of like, oh, come on, what is it going to sound like? Happily, it does not sound like some ridiculous explosion of percussion and noise and whatnot and, chaos slowly emerging from aleatoric randomosity or anything. It doesn't do that. It's actually sounds a lot like the Violin Concerto or the Piano Concerto. And that's kind of the problem. I'm not quite sure what he's after. I didn't read the notes. I did not. I wanted to just go by the titles and listen to the music fresh. I still haven't read the notes. So if I sound puzzled, maybe it's because the music requires a verbal explanation in order for it to make sense, in order for the title to make sense with the sounds that I hear. And If You Will It, It Is No Dream is really basically like an 8-minute overture. And the title is absolutely meaningless as regards music's ability to somehow capture what the title says. And it sounds a bit like the Big Bang and creation of the universe. I mean, what I'm saying is, okay, it's good to have a style. It's good to have your own language. It's not so good if you can't live up to expectations in the way that you operate with this language. I think he's a really good concerto writer based on the violin and piano concerto that I've heard so far. But these other pieces, these other orchestral pieces, I'm already getting a sense that it's kind of more of the same. And I don't yet know how far he can go. There's also a ballet. I have it over here somewhere. It's over there, actually. I'm not going to go reach for it. That I listened to that was for string orchestra that also didn't impress me as, necessarily varied enough to sustain its length. And that's something I'm going to be paying attention to. So I am hoping that Borenstein continues writing lovely music, successful music, that he, understands what he lacks at this stage in his career and supplies it, because it sounds like a very talented guy. And the Violin Concerto is a treat. It really is. If you can stream it, if you don't want to buy the whole disc, give it a listen. I think you'll enjoy it. I really do. It's very effective and really, really attractive. The other stuff, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.